In this video, we are seeing in real time Palantir getting recognized by the wider news media. And this is the Fortune magazine featuring Palantir in multiple sections of its December 23, January 24 articles. So I'm going to walk through this, starting with Palantir being listed as one of the 13 stocks to buy for 2024. Now, you can think of the thousands and thousands of stocks available in the public markets, even just for the US specifically. And Palantir is now getting recognized as one of a very, very select few dozen, baker's dozen even, that should be worth buying for next year. It doesn't necessarily matter that Fortune is the one deciding, but the reason I'm mentioning this is because of the wider perception. Palantir getting into the zeitgeist, Palantir getting recognized, and really getting across that hump of Palantir is this fake AI company, when that couldn't be further from the truth. So riding an AI boom and guarding against a recession bust, forecasters have rarely been so divided about the outlook for the economy. Will inflation and high interest rates drive it down, or will a technological revolution lift it up? Our stock picks aim to help your portfolio come out ahead, whatever occurs. Now, I'm not saying we should be taking investment advice from these people. We just need to take their opinions in context, because there's always something to learn from everyone. A year ago, there was nearly consensus that the Federal Reserve's inflation-fighting interest rate hikes would spark a recession in the US, but it didn't turn out that way, at least not yet. After that head fake, Wall Street's top minds are unusually divided about what's to come for the economy and, by extension, the stock market. The uncertain impact of higher for longer interest rates, the AI boom, and rising geopolitical tensions has led to some wildly divergent outcomes among forecasters. It's the kind of environment where stock investors often benefit from playing defense and offense simultaneously. Could there be a better description for Palantir? This is where it becomes obvious why you would choose Palantir in a portfolio looking to benefit from this type of environment, and I really do agree. Like, Palantir has the whole defensive side to it, obviously, with their government work. It makes so much sense to have it as a defensive play, and we saw it get recognized in 2023 as a defensive play, with the instability only accelerating. That Alex Karp and his purpose-driven nature has led the company to be able to, be of value in times of need. And then we also have this offense that they're saying here simultaneously. What do you think Palantir's commercial side is all about? It's about playing offense for enterprises. AIP is a huge part of this now and the story going forward. How can you be offensive in your pursuit for creating greater value? So just reading that for the first time really makes a lot of sense. On one hand, investors should look to hold companies that have strong balance sheets, check, steady cash flows, check, low debt levels, done, and the ability to maintain pricing power. I think that's only increasing for Palantir. The defensive qualities that help companies do well when inflation or high interest rates exert a drag on the broader economy. At the same time, they shouldn't ignore firms that are aligned with long-term trends that could generate outside growth in the future. Is this directly written for Palantir? It really seems like that. And yes, the adoption of AI is one of those trends. So, Fortune asked 7 of Wall Street's most well-respected investors and analysts for their top picks for 2024. Okay, so it's not just Fortune coming up with these, it's actually some experts that they're calling behind the scenes. The diverse mix of companies they mentioned range from sturdy, predictable consumer staples to bets on a new technological revolution. In a time of uncertainty, these picks should provide a mix of safety and opportunity, no matter what happens in the broader economy. AI may be the most important technological advancement of our lifetime, one that Wall Street analysts have already compared to the internet, the automobile, and even electrification. The timing and depth of these revolutions and profitable changes are a subject of hot debate. Well, this is why Palantir puts their boot camps first and foremost in the process of attracting and working with new clients, because they want to deliver that value up front. Once that value is recognized, they want to take a portion of it down the road. It starts to make a lot of sense. Is like, where are these profitable changes coming from? They're coming from companies that are willing to do that work up front, get all of the paperwork aside, and just start diving in. So some bears argue that where the stock market is concerned, AI hype has run too far ahead of reality, setting up a few fairly rich valued stocks for a tumble if the economy slows. Here's Dan Ives, which I just made a video on his latest research. A senior equity analyst at Wedbush Securities thinks the AI pessimists risk missing out. The bears try to look smart while the bulls make money, he comments. Ives believes that investors should be macro aware but micro focused in 2024. That makes sense. And I think, to his point, 2023 and almost 2022, you had to be macro focused almost, and everyone was learning about, if they hadn't already, what's actually going on with the Federal Reserve. We're watching all of these meetings, we're figuring out, trying to read into their commentary about what's happening, tightening and all of that. And now I think it's become less of a focus, which is great news, because it really shouldn't be about that with investing, but it was just so, to use overused word, unprecedented, that you had to be focused on that as an individual investor. That means understanding the risks to the economy, but not missing out on big opportunities from the technological revolution that is AI. So they go on to talk about Microsoft and Nvidia, and here are the picks from the experts. You'll see Palantir down here, $20 as roughly as a current price. So it says as of November 14th, 2023. We'll have to look back on this later on. But let me just scroll to the part where it mentions Palantir. Among companies that create more general AI software applications, Ives calls out data analytics firm Palantir Technologies, the purest play AI name in the market today. I tend to agree. Denver-based Palantir expects 2023 revenues of roughly $2.2 billion, a market cap of $43 billion in mid-November. After operating for years as a secretive but much hyped startup, Palantir has found a groove as a publicly traded company. It's been profitable for 4 consecutive quarters and has no long-term debt, and Ives notes that the company, whose AI software customers include the US and Israeli intelligence agencies, is likely to increase its revenues in an era of rising global tensions. In this geopolitical storm, clearly, it's a company that will benefit, he said. Okay, so here's some more data on worldwide AI spending. You'll see how much it's grown over the last few years, from under $300 billion to over $500 billion in just 3 years. And then we also want to look at the future 50 of 2023, companies that are built for growth even in uncertain times. So political turmoil and the rise of AI have shaken up the playing field for business leaders and investors, but the companies that top their vitality index are poised to turn today's challenges into tomorrow's gains. And Palantir is on this list, so let's go ahead and dive into this. Companies worldwide that they have chosen from. Fast movers in tech and beyond. Our methodology is designed to identify the 50 global companies best positioned to deliver above average revenue growth and market returns in the years ahead. Below, this year's companies are ranked in order of vitality. So you can see a lot of these companies in light blue being tech companies, which makes sense, right? Low capex, easier scale, better margins, and Palantir coming in at 18, which is only behind just names that we're familiar with: Snowflake, Datadog, CrowdStrike. You might be familiar with Roblox, Cloudflare, Bill, Aspen, Neo, HubSpot. So we can debate Shopify, DoorDash. We can debate, like, where would Palantir fall. I think they obviously should be a lot higher, but you can see all of the other companies that they've been listed in front of as well. So with that said, Fortune also mentioned top 10 companies that they believe are riding the Future 50 trends best. So these companies exemplify key themes of this year's list, including the rise of generative AI, the dominance of cloud computing and e-commerce, and the soaring demand for zero-emission technology. So they put Snowflake number 1, Datadog number 2, CrowdStrike number 3, Liato number 4, Eve Energy number 5, and Palantir number 6. Data analytics company Palantir is invaluable to the Pentagon and intelligence agencies. So just a bit more background, and they say Palantir's offerings include tools to assist counterterrorism operations, target identification systems, and others. 3 years after its IPO, Palantir has posted 4 straight profitable quarters. Rising geopolitical instability can boost its future growth. Also wanted to show you this graphic about investments. The big fish are swimming with the startups. Cloud providers are realizing that their competitiveness depends on generative AI partners, and they're forging investments to secure their futures. Nvidia, whose chips currently dominate the AI hardware space, is making similar moves. So Amazon, Google, Intel, Microsoft, Nvidia, Oracle, SAP, they're all investing in generative AI. I wonder why. Well, not really. It makes a lot of sense. And who is building the infrastructure around these generative AI products? It's Palantir. So once again, Palantir listed under Fortune's 50 AI innovators. Great to see recognition We know Palantir's, definitely much more advanced than many of these startups and other names, but I wanted to make this video to highlight 2023 was the year Palantir really got accepted into the public sphere and recognized for its work and its technology beyond what people have political issues with. And so I think that's great. And I think we're going to see a lot more of it in 2024. And I do think that contributes to the sentiment surrounding Palantir stock, which is only going to benefit it. So let me know what you think about this, and until next time.